Guys,
Yo.
welcome back to the pit, your favorite weekly live stream about all things on-chain degenerate, and we're excited to be back with a classic gang stream. We have Chewbacca joining the stream for the first time in I think 2 years, right?
Yeah, yep.
Been about 2
We're
years.
so back.
Yeah, we are so back, dude. We're so back. Huh?
Wow.
and then also we have my main man with us as always, RT Random Task. How's it going, sir?
What's up, man? What's up? I just got, if I'm glowing right now, it's because I just got really good news, and I'm going to share it with you guys in a sec. I just want to get my screen share sorted so I don't
fifth baby.
Fuck it up. What's up? Yeah, having another baby. Imagine. Okay. Got the screen share sorted. We don't need it yet. Just don't want to.
Chewbacca, you went from looking like a 20-year veteran of like an insurance claims office to looking like a Chad Russian mobster. How did you glow up so quick? Is it used car?
Yeah, used car.
He's on the come up.
Yeah,
he got himself a gently used 2001 Honda Civic. All of a sudden, he's like, which sports team
this can be you too
today?
Okay, so as we were logging into the show, which is why I'm a little distracted, I checked my email and I received confirmation that a buyer has accepted my offer to sell my FTX claim. So I'm back.
Congratulations, dude.
I got, and I don't even want to jinx it. I still have to like jump through one hoop of KYC, but I'm already KYC'd, so it'll be just going through motions. But it's 75 cents. 75 cents on the dollar. I'll probably post something a little more detailed on Twitter. I don't really want to get into it today, but 75 cents on the dollar at petition prices. I mean, it's not great, but it's now. And now is an important time when you're in the market, in the arena, touching stuff.
Instant liquidity when you wrote it off for zero.
Yes, it's instant liquidity. And then it's a separate trade. You know, I made a trade. I'm taking that. But like in my head, I'm like, yeah, can I outperform 25% in the time it takes for anyone to get maybe 100 back? Like it's a trade I'll take every single time. So when I heard the claims were trading around 70 cents, I jumped in and I got 75 today. So fuck yeah.
Nice, dude.
So it's going to take about 10 days because banks are slow and it'll be wire this, wire that. But, you know, I should have some floors to sweep in the coming days. Which floors should I sweep, JB?
Exactly.
Mad Lads, dude.
Mad Lads. I really do want a Mad Lad, and I actually had it on my screen. I was looking at yesterday.
Buy Lads, buy Tensorians, buy Quacks.
Actually, pull it up. I have Mad Lads right here. I was
real quick. So there's no way your timing is unique, right? There's got to be, since we're kind of in this phase where claims are being like reasonably valued. How much liquidity does that inject into the market? Is that a catalyst?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Do we have a catalyst here? Do I hear a catalyst?
Yep.
I mean, there are claims flying off the shelves. I've been following much closer in the last month. Once I heard that, I was like, damn, you could sell this? Like, my biggest fear throughout the earlier days was like, oh, sell a claim. Like, I don't even know how to do that. You know, I'm probably going to get scammed. Like, it's probably mostly scammers. And then God forbid you sign away your rights to something. But as I learned about it and through this Cherokee acquisitions, it's all pretty legit. And he's like, for someone to falsely try to claim ownership of your claim, like that's a federal offense. He's like, you won't find too many scammers doing that scam. I was like, yeah, that's fair. And he's like, and certainly not in our vetted buyers pool. So I was like, okay, I trust you, Mr. Lawyer from New York. Where do I sign? So I don't know. There are a bunch flying off the shelves. At this point, I think it makes sense on both parties, right? It's like 75 cents for $1 billion hedge fund that's just going to sit on it for a couple of years and make 25%. They maybe get out in 6 months. They maybe get out in 5 years. Fucking got what is Mount Gox up to now? 10 years? Yeah. But so on that side, it makes perfect sense for them to want to just bid up stuff because the estate clearly has enough assets, especially if you factor in potential future growth. So for me, it makes perfect sense to just never have to think about it again. So it's a great trade. It's a great trade. Great way to stay in shape. That's all. Anyways, that news came to me like 8 seconds ago, so I'm buzzing. But Let's
If there are any sort of
that.
metrics on like the volume of claims being like finalized, that would be really interesting.
The website is okay. It's not great at updating, but as I got the email for mine selling, I got another email showing that one other one sold for like, it was like a $4 million claim, the other one. So I don't know why I got that email. It was just more generally what's happening on the site, I guess. But they're flying off the shelves. And I think the idea is like people are just finding a comfort level with that 75. Like it was 67 a few weeks ago. So maybe they know something, you know, like I kind of lost a little bit of sleep the first night after I signed, you know, making the offer. Cause I was like, what if they know something? What if at the end of next month, it's like, surprise bitches, here's all your money back. But I'm not, you know, what if it's 5 years? Like I just wouldn't want to miss that chance. So 75 is a rest easy number for me. And especially with drum roll toast.
What? Oh yeah. Focus.
Probably now I don't want to get too hyperbolic. You know, I don't like hyperbole. I don't like inciting FOMO. I certainly don't like forcing or compelling people into like major financial decisions for themselves. So none of this is advice. But I'm so fired up about what Diesel's cooking. And I know we've talked about it. And since we talked about it, price has gone up. And so it's sort of like Buddy the other night was like, dude, you sound like you're putting a topping, like you're euphoric. It's not really that. It's just that I've been reading. You know, I look at pitch decks every other week for years. I talk to founders, invest
so you
in teams.
do FA.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I don't read papers. Pitch decks are very different. Pitch decks are like, this thing doesn't exist and here's an idea, right? Papers are like, here's what we've built. But
it's insane the money people raise off of pitch decks because they're all literally just like a fucking like like an Adobe stock image and like
there's actually some really cool ones out there, but yes, most of them sadly are garbage, and that's the nature of ideas. You know, 99% of them are stupid.
Like $10 million. Here you go.
But anyways, you know, and Rob gave us the show the other day and talked to us about like his thesis, and I had always kind of remained bullish on it with him, but again, hadn't dove in. I've got babies. I'm just like, I'm not reading stuff. Anyways, I then found out my fund has a chat with the team. We met them at some conference in June, one of our guys. So like we already had a chat with them this whole time. And I was sitting here in public channels trying to like reach them. Anyways, I've been just at it with the guy for like their head of marketing for like 3 days, just talking about everything. He's answering all my questions. He's dropping me links to all their threads. Like I've just been reading for 2 days straight since the release of this white paper, these tokenomics. I'm just eating it up. And I'm super excited. I think what I would say is you would do yourself a great favor to read both the white paper and tokenomics paper in the next few days. There's even a timer that tells you how much time you have to read them to make an informed decision. I look at this and I just think it's easily the best opportunity in the market that I've seen in a year or two. And one of the reasons is, and I'm going to do a solo stream. I really don't, you know, I promised the guys I wouldn't eat up the whole stream on this, but one of the reasons is because it is so, you know, trading is about information asymmetry, right? It's finding something where you have information that other people don't have, or you have other people information that other people are ignoring. And that's, you know, and then information is disseminated to the public and things reprice, and the efficiency is insane in the S&P, right? JP walks up to the stand and like, just based on how his shoes are tied, things reprice. Like it gets really insane. And the thing Rob and I talk about on stream all the time is how inefficient these markets are. Frankly, I think you guys talk about it too, how inefficient they are, right? Like these asymmetries can exist for months. And in this case, 90% of the people I talk to about this, they still say, oh, isn't that BitClout? That's that BitClout app, right? Like that thing's dead, right? That was a scam.
Yeah, even in the chat right now, someone's like, yeah, I'm creating that because of BitClout.
Yeah, like there's literally because there was this massive wave of hate. And some of it was founded in, you know, like the fact that they did a bonding curve, that there was people who knew about it before other people, that there was major funds that knew about it right away and other people who didn't. And there was no withdrawals for the first while. It looked like a honeypot. And then, but that's the thing. And then it was dismissed and nobody's looked back. A lot of people have. There's still thousands of active daily users on there, which is more than most apps. But most people haven't looked back. The masses within crypto, and then of course the rest of the world has no idea what any of us are doing about any of this shit. So the asymmetry that exists on this thing is monstrous. I have been reading it for days. The way they've designed this focus token, that I'll save. I'll get into that a little more maybe on a full solo stream, but it's basically a buyback and burn with 100% of all the fees that this entire thing generates. And on top of that, it's like set up to spread like wildfire, the incentives models, all of which are locked for 1 year. I saw some discussion in a thread he was doing yesterday for feedback saying maybe they'll give a taste of that unlock, like 1%, but the rest is over a year and then 4-year linear vest. So influencers, whoever, heavily incentivized to arrive, to stay, to post to all their own other socials, but none of those incentives in the market for a year, or very, very little. What's going to happen in that year to this token with that kind of spread? I think quite a bit. That's the hot take, anyways.
Olaf Carlson.
What? Who's that?
Polychain Capital. Very, very bright dude.
Heard of Polychain. I don't know him.
But you know Polychain.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was on Empire, which is a great podcast by Blockworks, and I
was talking about that today.
Yeah, you commented that they should bring on the DeSo founder. Right.
Yeah.
So that's funny because they just had on Olaf Carlson, and in that interview, it was mostly about how like Polychain is a one-way firm. Like, not only are they long only, but they never sell.
Oh,
which is interesting. He was like, my LPs know that I'm one way.
We don't actually make any real money. No, but like, maybe it's like cash flow.
They've outperformed most funds by doing it. But
no, they've been doing great.
And so he was talking about how like they were talking about like narratives for 2024, and then the Empire host asked like, is there any that are like sleeper or like just you think are people aren't paying enough attention? And he mentioned SocialFi, and he said that like I think that SocialFi, like there's been all these failed attempts. There's BitClout, there's obviously FriendTech, but like I think it's actually going to get a serious look this cycle. And then lo and behold, I went and I looked up the initial investment for DeSo, Polychain Capital, right there.
Yeah. Dude, that's the other thing people forget. It's actually, so here's, first of all, I love that he's got a similar thesis to myself. That makes me feel good about myself because he's a smart guy. Second off, the asymmetry thing, like, it's almost like I think of it as a gift that there was so much hate for BitClout. And let's be honest, we know about Cope. It was Cope. It was Cope. It was a bunch of people who were not in, who had seen that it had gone up quite a bit, who were looking away. I'm not going to buy your multiple X's. And then, but like objectively, and then it was like a beta app, and they even admit like they were chatting and they're like, yeah, like it was super beta. It was meant to be. It was a test of, and it's interesting is like their metrics that they'll share. We'll get them on the pod hopefully soon. But the metrics they'll share, like there was a ton of success, right? They had a ton of daily active users. They have like something like 10. I don't want to drop numbers. I've been reading their shit for 3 days. I don't want to make up false stuff, but like incredibly successful beta. And then they basically disappeared for 2 years, heads down building. They've got a whole stack. Anyways, I really want to get into it. But to your point about SocialFi, yes. Or to his point, Olaf's point about SocialFi, like we've seen the flavor for this, right? The appetite is there. FriendTech took over in the summer, and then there was like an ocean of like copycat horizontal dilution. We talked about that. They're all going to fall flat. It is going to be a thing. And then you look at the tech stacks that have been built to support it. And this one is just, it's over here. And everything else just is like a DeFi chain. So the way that he describes it, I've been listening a lot to Nader speak. Nader? Damn it. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but
Ralph Nader, dude. Ralph Nader.
Yes, it's not Nader. I remember hearing it last night and it was like Nadar or Nader. Anyways, apologize, sir. But he's got, it's really well thought out. Anyways, I'm going to do a deep dive video
I have a couple quick questions though.
Oh yeah, no, I mean let's keep going. Let's keep going. I just don't want to take over
then
too much.
yeah, I mean
I'll live here all day.
So what is this catalyst that's coming up in what, 6 days or?
Yes. So let's go there. It's essentially BitClout 2.0. It's their new app. The thesis being that they need a viral app on this platform, on their L1, to really draw in the developers, the excitement. So they're putting all their resources behind this new app. And of course, initially, maybe a year ago, they were blogging about it as BitClout 2.0, but they've rebranded it, or they've picked this new brand, Focus. The name of the app is Focus. It'll essentially be like a Twitter, but it's going to have some other stuff. And then the whole buying and selling and trading of these creator coins, which are optional, by the way. So you'll come onto the platform. You will not necessarily have to have a creator coin because a lot of people won't want one. But if you do, there's like a whole separate trading interface that'll be separate from, the social experience. So it won't just be, where, and they write in detail about why these choices were made and sort of how they learned from Friendtech, the good and the bad, and optimized for it. So I think it's more the chain. Honestly, the chain more excites me than this app. This app, I think, is going to be like the initial piece, the stickiness, but the chain extends far beyond that. For starters, like as an aside, it's better at doing what Filecoin does.
Whoa, dude.
Yeah. On a potential
Jesus
level.
Christ, you're coming in
yeah.
hot,
Like
dude.
data. No, I'm just saying for data storage, it is optimal over Arweave and Filecoin because they are designed to do this one thing. They can't index the storage the same way this can. So it kind of can do everything.
What the DSO white paper said?
Yeah. Well, it's more like the threads he's been writing over the last year. So it's
I'm sure the Filecoin people would take issue with the claim. I'm sure they'd have something.
I've never heard from them, but he's pulled, I think he gives them a nod. He's like, yeah, they've done some great stuff. We just do it better. And so when you just look at, I don't think he's trying to throw shade at anybody, but he talks about sort of like to do what they're doing here, you would need Solana plus Arweave, and it would be less efficient and way more costly.
I would rather my bags
fight.
I don't like when my bags fight with each other.
Yeah, no, I don't think he doesn't really have that fighting attitude. Although Tolly did ask him this question on Twitter, and he responded, and Tolly did not respond. But he was basically, do you guys want to see it?
Sure.
So let's pull it up, and then we can get into your bags.
These are my bags.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing. You like to push back, but like you have a bag.
Yeah. If you're not footing your own bags, you're delusional.
Yeah. So basically this was it. Yeah, this was their back and forth. So totally basically just like, why not just store the hash and links to all the content on Filecoin or Arweave or IPFS and only use the chain for the social graph and the namespaces. And then he just kind of gets into like, actually, nah, we're just going to do 1 mega blockchain. It's an improved combination of something like a Solana Arweave. And it doesn't have smart contracts, interestingly. I learned that this morning. It's like a native L1 plus kind of like, I don't know, JavaScript on top. Anyways, I'd have to have a dev talk about that. But so I don't think he's trying to sit here and say like, we're the next Solana. I think he's just saying Solana is not optimized to build the social experience on chain the way that we are without help from Arweave, which would be less efficient. Anyway, so this was a really interesting response. I think I retweeted it. No, I didn't. I just liked it. But so they've already, they're chatting. He's out there. He's a really smart guy. I listened to a couple of his speeches last night. Of course, having the babies in April, I stopped doing a lot of any reading or watching or learning. I just did a lot of charting and passive stuff and sports betting, as it turned out. But I'm back into it now. And with this sale coming up, and this launch and the way they've designed the growth and go-to-market strategy that'll follow, I don't really feel the need to focus on anything else right now. Focus.
So given that we have a catalyst in 6 days or whatever, wouldn't it typically be better to wait till after that happens to start accumulating?
Well, I think in this case, like,
tell him
there's like, Yes, buy the rumor, sell the news, unless like you need the tokens you bought on the rumor to participate in the news.
Mm.
In which case,
so
like, you know what I mean?
okay. So here's the thing: the bonding curve that the sale will exist on is DSO backed. So
Yeah,
you
got
can
it.
come in through their Hxro swap, cross-chain atomic swaps, and you can basically send in USDC, Ethereum, Solana, Bitcoin. And if you do that, if you purchase this token, it will be priced at 0.001 cent or a dollar. But when you send in, say, like Solana, it will swap to DSO on the back end, and that DSO goes into the bonding curve, and then the focus comes out.
Got it.
So
Yeah.
all this buying pressure, I mean, I'm sure
Yeah,
a
instant
lot of the
buy
buying will
pressure.
be done with DSO, but if anyone's buying with any other of those currencies, it just goes into buying DSO, which is a thin market. So unless they have some like major market maker ask liquidity sitting there to like cool the price of DSO during this thing, it should shoot up rather aggressively. I don't know why they would do that. I think green candles are the best marketing. I don't think that that's lost on them. So I imagine on a thin book like this, through the period of the sale, right? The sale is, I think the first week is 50% discount via bonus. So you get what you get, and then you get a big, 50% bonus on top that's like 4-year lock. So like you don't even touch it for 4 years, but it's there. And then all of the funds raised are going to stay in the bonding curve. All the DSO that's raised is staying in the bonding curve. In other words, after the sale's done, the app launches, at any time you could go take all those focus tokens, swap them back for the same amount of DSO you put in, but you get to keep the bonus. And that's where I think this shit gets a little bit insane, right? Because why wouldn't you just slam a larger amount, especially if you're sitting in DSO already planning to hold it? I think on US dollars, you could end up down because a lot of people will open up this trade, close it, like arbing the bonus. But if you can put in 100 DSO and then there's basically an infinite floor bid at what you bought it at to then get out at any time later, and they're going to run it for weeks, and that story is going to spread, like, come on, this thing's going to fucking moon. Not financial advice.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. So I read all this, and I'm just getting so fired up the other night, and my lady's like looking at me. She's like, "Are you okay?" I'm just like, I'm like that guy from The Gift that's just like sweating at his desk. I'm like, oh, they've just, because it was already one of my biggest bags, and I've just been buying it like a maniac up in the 30s here. I just think it's gonna, probably just fucking Space Needle. I feel like it's gonna Space Needle at least and eat up this wick up tier to like 100, and we'll see what happens there. But so I think there's two trades here. I think there's like get into some focus and have some fun, soak up some bonus, and get back out, if you want. I think focus itself is designed to have a very good year as this thing spreads with massive incentive optics and lockups of those incentives. So there's no real sell pressure for the first year from that. And then I also think there's a trade here completely separate of the sale, just buying and selling DSO through the period of the sale. Loading up through this dip is what I'm doing. And I think through the period of the sale with that bonding curve the way it is, I think this thing should end up getting a ton of just buy pressure from from the back end, on chain. Anyways, I think that's enough. I don't want to. You guys.
Speaking of focus, let's
shift focus.
Things.
I know Toast really didn't want me to take over the stream, and I didn't want to either. So here we are. That was a good. I got it off my chest. I feel good now. I'll have a solo stream later. We'll get into it. Hopefully, we'll get Nader on the stream. Rob wants him on. So let's move on.
You were signaling bearish for the past 2 streams.
I was signaling caution.
Right. Whatever. I'm not. This isn't a.
There's a non-zero chance that
I will not be put into the bull or bear categories.
Right. You made up this thing called a non-zero chance and said that it existed. So then we got the biggest OI flush, I think, on alts ever.
Yeah. Of the year, at least.
So I want to give you a little clap.
Of the year.
But is that enough? Are you still cautious now?
Yeah. I mean, I think, okay. After that flush, I'm way more comfortable.
Okay.
Because now I have a level I can say, well, below that, we're fucked for a bit. you know, if it's a flush in an aggressive bull, which is what it looks like right now. Today, obviously, is bounce day. But this is like a really nice invalidation level across the board now, right? I mean, you could sweep it. We've seen a lot of those get swept, and then you go, that's the max I'd be willing to stomach. Other than that, I'm 5 clicks from cash and I'm chilling. I have skimmed a lot of my risk.
Cash.
What's up?
I'm 82 clicks from cash.
Yeah, that's a scary. See, now that's a scary place to be, and that's what DeFi will do to you, especially on ETH. Right?
I'm also going to need a VPN while I do it, so it'll be a little slow on each of those clicks.
Yeah, I've one time or two times like freaked out and ended up spending like 3 hours getting to cash just because I was like everywhere. Right? You end up so spread out. So one of the things I did through that period of feeling like, okay, let's just chill out. It's a new year. Let's see where we're at. Is I just reduced my exposure to like the outer tail risk stuff. I'm in like, you know, 3 or 4 bags of any particular size. They're all quite liquid. The rest is just a bunch of, little stuff in free bags. So I think that's one thing you can do without not being long. You can just kind of like come back home, you know, hang out in Bitcoin, hang out in Solana, hang out in Say, hang out in HNT, whatever.
Do you look at Say chart? Do you think it's topped? Ansem just called top on it.
Well, I put all these extra ones on here just for you guys because you were so mad at me. I was in the pit. So I'm gonna delete the meme ones. Like, I mean, they're real, like they're all these consolidations, but I don't like adding them as I go up because then you could play that game forever and you're never getting out. First of all, I'm gonna turn off this Monday.
It's beyond all comprehension right now, though.
Oh yeah, dude. Like this thing's up at the 877. Like it's had a good run. That's all I'm gonna say. Look, Ansem was on the stream and we were down here hanging out talking about this probably gonna be the next one. It's been the next one. Now,
yeah, I couldn't believe
your bag for
he didn't have any when I asked him because I had been loading up purely on the idea that he said it was Soul's little brother, and I like did some research and I was like, this looks great. And then when I asked him, I was like, "Oh, you don't have any?" And I started worried.
Yeah. No, I mean,
took off the next day.
I think he's in.
Oh yeah, no, he definitely allocated at some point.
But
I was just surprised because like he was the only one who was talking about it that I saw, and he didn't have any at the time.
Oh yeah, no, he's pretty quick to pivot in and out.
For sure. Yeah.
So look, this thing is a pay yourself moment for me. So here's the thing though, I paid myself pretty aggressively through this one. So now with what I have left, I'm like I'm feeling resistant to like taking.
I think I'm gonna hold it all cycle, dude. I'm just gonna use the eco to run up the stack.
Yeah. Like that's a nice way to play it too.
Are you staking most of yours? Like
I have a bunch staked on a couple of wallets, and then I have like ants across like 6 different wallets.
What are ants?
By the way, I booked a 40x on ants.
Yo, yeah. Can you talk about ants and maybe even tell me where I can chart this? Because I keep looking it up.
Go to
it doesn't
pallet.exchange.
That was my first Satoshi NFT win. So
nice, dude. I had to get one.
You redeemed yourself. Yeah, you redeemed yourself.
Yeah.
This one.
Just when I think you couldn't be any dumber, you go and do something like this. Yeah, the colony. Go to palette and the front page, and then go to the colony. So I saw these at $25. I think it was like 200 Say or something like that.
And I was late at 100 each.
Right. Yeah. And I just swept I think 20 of these. And they ran up to 2,500 Say. Activity. And I was like, well, Say is going to be $1. So $2,500 is like a 40x from the. Yeah, it was. It would be a 40x. So I was like, okay. Or no, it's 100x, right? So I paid $25 per. At 2,500 Say with Say at $1, that'd be 100x. So I was like, I should take profit at 2,500. I sold like 4 of them, and then they have not yet revisited 2,500 Say. Yeah, I should have sold more.
I've listed a couple like right below floor, and then the floor keeps going down.
But they're also raining free money and mints on the holders of these. So like I literally every day get meme tokens in my wallet, any wallet that's holding Colony.
Nice.
Enough to sell and like be worth more than $5.
There's pretty good spread on this too. 2,600 owners on a 5,500 collection.
Yeah.
That's
nice.
nice.
Dude. The NFT of the people.
Yeah. Well, I keep hearing you talk about ants, but I don't fuck with NFTs until it's late in the cycle, and then I buy them at the top. So I'm not ready.
Well, in a new eco, though, you kind of want to get involved because one, they're like your free pass to everything else that springs up in that eco. And then two, like they are in a new eco, they actually do perform pretty well. Like Inge NFTs like minted some millionaires over the last 2 months.
It's like the official mascot of the chain. It's kind of like how Mad Lads was the mascot of Sol. And everyone got behind Mad Lads early, who was a Sol maxi. So
yeah, Colony is like the. It's weird to make this comparison, but Colony is like the bonk of Say.
Yeah,
like
the community glue.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Mad Lads mid bear, dude. I don't know. I don't know. I skipped it. And I'm sitting here coping. But
yeah, I faded it because I hated the art.
2 months ago, dude. I didn't even know they were a thing.
I remember how hyped they were, and I just remember thinking like, these will be blue chip Solana someday. But I was also thinking I'm never buying NFTs again because it was such a fucking nightmare that the year that I did buy a bunch and I had taxes to do. And that's a stupid reason, boys and girls, to skip on opportunity. Because the best opportunities were the biggest nightmares for my taxes, but they were great.
It's very interesting in these all L1s. Like you look at Ethereum or even just look at an L2 like Arbitrum. Like literally, you can't even get like synchronicity and unity between devs of the same fucking sector on Arbitrum, right? Like Premia is fighting with Dopex, and it's like, what? Shouldn't you guys at the very least be united? Like,
what's happening over there? Give us the juice.
Oh, Premium is literally a meme, the Premium Mafia. Like,
oh,
yeah. But just to say that, like, okay, over in ETHland, like there isn't much unity, kumbaya. In Solana on Say, like all these people are like holding each other up. It's a completely different vibe.
Yeah. Well, that's the kind of vibe that we got with Solana through the bear too, right? Like, and we've talked about this before. Like, the strongest communities are forged in the fires of the belly of the bear. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
the community. That's a good.
Yeah, like the community, the bag holders, because you leave. You leave if you're not that, and if you stayed, you're so strong. And Solana with their development and all that stuff. It's why we do what we do. It's why we're here. It's why we have Sol, because you could see it happening, right? The dev was crazy on it, even though it was, the dead Sam coin. Like, Say, interestingly, new coin, new thing, but seems to have forged quite a community early, which is impressive.
Yeah, it's wild.
I should have read more about it. I have a bag. I've made some really nice money. I mean, I flipped that one trade on Christmas Day for low 5 figs. So like, it's been fine, but it's it could have been a higher conviction bag. And I think reading, as I've been doing with DSO, really helps that. So I'm gonna start.
Say could easily go to $6 this cycle. Like, no problem.
Now we're talking.
And the pit has just been printing off of Say shitcoins too. I haven't really been dabbling too much, but those were unironically a make it play for some
CoinHall is actually very easy because like contracts don't launch every second like on Solana, so you can go to CoinHall and organize tokens above 1K liquidity, organized by like when did they launch, and then you can just snipe contracts on it like pretty easily. Yeah, it's fire, dude. And like you got to think like it's the fastest L1, so that's beta. It's got Cosmos Eco beta narrative. It's parallelized EVM. It's like narrative crack.
Yeah.
And it's like it is the number one in a few of those narratives. So, and then it was like, I think it's still trading below. Is it over $1 billion yet?
Market cap?
Yeah,
it's gotta be. I thought it was like $2 billion. I mean, are we talking FDV though?
It's actually most of the supply is out, I think.
23% according to this. But that's also according to this. These don't get updated often. enough.
Yeah, CoinGecko sucks with that. But
market cap 1.8 bill. That's more
right.
like,
So when I was getting in, it was like 600 bill, something like that.
yeah, we were
600 mil.
we were tickling this 23.5 cent zone. Or at least that's where I kind of started getting interested.
Gorgeous.
It was really beautiful. I mean, look, guys, this is your classic trade, right? Like find the pump, chase it with the PCZ, rip it up to a chaos, take some off, rip it to the next chaos, take some off. Done. Nice trade. Now you can hold it, you can invest, you can become an investor, but whatever it is, just be it your plan. You know, I think the tops like this, or sorry, I said the T word. Highs like this tend to make an investor out of even the most staunch don't marry your bag traders. So just be aware of the emotions that come with this kind of move. I don't think that I would waste much time here saying, oh, it's good at top. Like there's not much value in that. I think there's a lot of value in just having a plan on de-risking and paying yourself through any form of mania. And this thing is crazy strong. I mean, we had the biggest recovery of the entire market in any kind of like, you know, higher cap coin yesterday. I, for one, am going to cut my bag in half again because it doubled again. But I am going to maintain that moon bag. I must.
Yeah, I'm just not going to overtrade this because I'm up so much in say that it could go down 50% and I would still be at the profit of my original bag.
Yeah, I think it's just about being aware of the realities of the market. And that is if you are aware of those, right? So you're comfortable, right? Because what it looks like to me and what it rhymes with is AVAX post-launch.
Totally. Yeah.
And
totally,
so you get these and you will get these on your way to $6. Like I would go as far as to say, I guarantee it. You'll have a reload zone, a depression, a trough, and you know, and it's not a bear market, but it's a period of bearishness through a broader bull. And you will get that on your way to something like $6. You better.
Yeah, and
because if you go straight to $6, you're going into like a 5-year bear market, right?
AVAX, Solana, and probably the Luna chart all have that initial launch moon consolidate depression, then real moon thing.
Yeah, imagine FTM does too.
Dot as well. I mean, most of them do. Dot as well, except for now it's still just struggling. But it's actually kind of on the come up. We could talk about Dot someday.
Dude,
but not
speaking
yet.
of Dot,
yeah,
holy shit! This morning I saw Ansem talking about eigenlayer restaking, and then he was like, "I own the beta to like what was the thing that mooned? Was it? It was not just restake, it was something else, but like something about restaking that was mooning." And he just commented on the chart like, "I own the beta to this and it's gonna rip." And then I like looked in the comments and I saw people saying Pika, and so I started looking into PICA and I recognized the logo and I was like, wait a minute, I put a shitload of Kusama into the crowdfund for this in 2021. And I went and I checked my Polkadot wallet and I had 100,000 Pika tokens.
Yo, nice. Yeah. I remember the Picasso.
Awesome.
I remember the Kusama moment, right? What was the other one? It was a kilt or something.
Yeah. And like Basilisk and a bunch of other. But
that's sick, dude. Don't you love that? Couch cushion crypto?
Yeah. So then I started looking into it and I was like, wait a minute, they have cross-chain transfers to Cosmos now from Polkadot and Kusama using Pika. And then there's like restaking wrapped up in all that cross-chain between Polkadot and Kusama and Cosmos. And so I just bought a shitload more because I was like, oh, this is nuts. Like I use the transfer and their swap and their staking, and it's just really good. Transfer is like easy to go from Polkadot and Kusama over to Cosmos. I don't think Dot and Kusama ever recover from Gavin leaving. I'm very bearish on them as like as technological like solutions, but so I won't be like playing KSM or Dot, but I do like Pika because they gave me some of it.
Hashtag my bags.
Hashtag my bag.
I do like
obviously
my bags.
I think it's going to underperform to
your bags.
I think it's going to underperform like SSV and RSTK, like in other things in the restaking like sector, but I like it.
Yeah, Dot was super underwhelming. for the period. I mean, okay, look at that chart. It was pretty cool. But it became super underwhelming in the latter parts of 2021. A lot of things were making new highs. It kind of just like limp dicked above previous early bull market highs and then died. I'm sure it's going to have a comeback story, at least within this range, just on a technical level. Like a ball that you drop always bounces at least up to your knee kind of thing, That's just physics.
Yeah.
Probably gonna.
I just don't think it's gonna rip,
Yeah, I certainly it doesn't fit the bill for me either.
I think there's a lot of overhead issues with it. I think there's lots of like deep bag holders of the whole eco, like who will want to get out if it even moves.
Yeah, well, that's the thing with all these, right? Like you really got to find ones where this isn't a bunch of angry bag holders that want to get out as much as it's just like, they all got out down here and like there's just not as much resistance up there. It's hard to find that. I think we're seeing a bit of it with AVAX. Like you really got to have something cooking to overcome a previous market's cycle. And there will be a lot. There's a number of them that will. They did last year. I always like to talk about Syscoin, which is not dead, by the way.
Cisgender coin?
Cisgender coin. Look, I mean, the Syscoin's a good example of this because it had, when I first joined crypto, like it had a lot of supporters in the 2017s and then it absolutely mooned and they were all geniuses. And then it had like an insane 3-year trough bear market. And then it did the thing again. Mid bull, had the May dump like the rest of the market. And then it went to new highs. I mean, this thing overcame every bit of that old bag holder mentality. And
it's ridiculous.
And they're still cooking. In fact, one of the guys I work with who is the gem finder is like super bullish on Sys. He's like, dude, we got to find it. It's hard to find on chain. It's hard to bridge to get. It's a centralized exchange coin for the most part because it's non-EVM as far as I know. But this is one that wise people are keeping an eye on for the record.
I have trouble getting excited about things that are from 2017. Like
I know. And that's, what's interesting is like long term, because I'm with you, dude. Shiny new toy, especially as a trader, hot ball of money rolls the hardest through the new stuff.
I mean, look at
I'm with you.
I mean, look at Tia today.
Like, like shit. Tia, say, like it's the shiny.
Tia should be cooked for months by now. Like all reasonable measures of it, like should say, all right, we're gonna chill out here. No, just rips.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how this and say play out, like with regards to say, like the AVAX chart that we looked at, because it's less about I don't put these reloads on to say like price will go here. It's just like from some level at some time it is going to end up in that kind of zone, and that's just usually it's a great time to be excited about it. And it's just I saw a funny tweet from Dog today. He's just like, I have never seen a chart do this and then not go up. Like, I was just like, yeah, it's true. It's really hard to imagine that kind of dump, this kind of response, and then it's not going to trade higher in the next few weeks. But
Tia rocks, dude. They gave me so much free dime on I have like 20 Cosmos wallets, and they're just gonna rain money on these Tia stakers.
Here's a nice, fun example of that. As far as like the reload zone concept, I don't know why I just thought of this, but like, Meta, Facebook, like all assets, nothing's really immune to this. And that's why I think fibs are so cool. And through all this, you could be sitting back coping, being like, well, someday it's going to come to the reload zone. Well, did you buy it? Because it was like 2x within 3 weeks and you have a free position for life. And that was true of most tech that year. So the thing is, and we're so blessed about this in crypto, we get to see these 10 and 20 year and 100-year cycles play out in months and years. We get a 4-year cycle. It took Meta from like 2013. I mean, this chart is not going back the whole way. Is it? No. Did Facebook trade before 2013? Maybe not. Anyways, you could do this on Amazon too. But like, yeah, we're pretty blessed to get to learn about market cycles in these short time frames.
We should pull up the ARB chart as well.
Yeah.
ARB has been going absolutely ballistic.
Flipping. It's funny how even when it's ETH's moment, we're gonna skip over ETH. Like,
Yeah.
all signs point to like, all right, ETH, it's your turn. And it was like, I'm gonna hand this off to my little brother.
Oh yeah,
Peak
let's
ARB.
ARB is doing the thing right now.
Yeah.
We've
Literally
got
no one was ready for this.
no, like it moved
There's no one
fast.
Most
talking-
are
yeah.
not prepared for this.
Most are not prepared for this scenario.
I was prepared, weirdly enough. Look at this. I even had my setup. Doubles coming in hot at 226.
But OP isn't OP stomping ARB though?
Yeah,
Well, OP
I
was
always
first.
kind of liked OP a little more. I was talking about
For
this
sure.
with Dan from Blockmates the other day in the TRI lounge. But like, were you guys on the stream when we had Brian on back here, like in August in the summer sesh?
Yeah.
Probably.
Because I was super bullish on ARB or OP, and I had bought it through this, and then I added through this, and I was like, oh, we're going to the chaos zone, and he cooled me, and he like rained on my parade, and he's like, we're probably gonna drip down into this reload zone, and then let's see what happens.
But look at it though.
And I looked
like,
away.
on a weekly, it's so obvious, right? It's a huge dub.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like in the middle of those W's, you don't see it. But like when you look back at it, it's like, oh, it's so obvious.
You get bored, you get shaken out. Like I got shaken out of OP too.
Yeah, this is what happened to me. I mean, well, I actually did sell because I think I sold some, and then I saw it start to like come off here. Like when it put in this little tweezer top, I was like, yeah, Brian's right. But then of course, yeah, like the 2 months later, this is back when we were trying to buy fucking bonk. This is back when we were trying to long, you were like bonk, 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 bonk in the pit every day. and we got bored. And this summer and right into peak September, right? September, October. This one more October, but really September was when the best time, September 11th, if you want to pick a day, was like buy any bag you want and you're going to be up a few X by Christmas. And I was not feeling it at the time. I was looking at it, I had a setup on Bitcoin. If we make one new low on Bull Div daily, like I'll take it. And I didn't. So I was in Utah at a thing, and I was just like, I'm just going to chill. But point is, yeah, sorry, Juby's right. You just get put to sleep, but look at this thing. Anyways, we're coming into the top of this trend channel, which is going to be an interesting place to resolve if we do so right now. Where would that send us? Probably high in the sky. Oh my God, look at that. There's a chaos PRZ hiding up there.
Yeah.
Looks reasonable. Let's see what this consolidation would mean for another one. Do. Sorry, pause there. I just got a notification. I had to close an app. You guys were supposed to pick up the ball and run.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were trying to do something.
No, I thought you were cooking.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
cook.
the thing about OP and ARB though, that like, because I have ARB bags, I should have had OP, but I don't.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is that their fucking valuations are so high, and there's no previous cycle L2s to look at and say like, this is how high L2s can get. We know how high L1s can get when they're like the best L1, but we don't know how high L2s can get. And that's the thing that's throwing me off. It's like, okay, can ARB go to 20 bill? Can it go to 40 bill? Like what?
It sounds like what you're describing is price discovery, which is the most exciting thing to just be on board with.
Yeah, isn't that bullish?
Totally. No, it is. What I'm saying though is that like, what if this thing has a hard ceiling at 20 bill? It doesn't crater, but it underperforms everything else from there. You know what I mean? And then you're just stuck in it wondering like, when is it going to have another run like it did early in the cycle, but it never does. Like that would suck.
My thesis is that ETH dominance will be diluted into its own L2s, which is fine from a tech perspective, user perspective, but price-wise, good for L2s, bad for ETH.
Not if ETH just burns fuckloads of ETH, then they can just keep the same price and have a lower market cap.
Well, here's an interesting thought. Let's go look at the merge. What is it?
What's
that website that shows you sort of
ultrasound.money? Is that it?
Let's go look at that. Oh, I just looked up an ultrasound. Ultrasound money. They think I'm having
Ultrasound
another baby.
reveals ETH had 1,000 babies.
Yeah. So I was thinking about this the other day because ETH is kind of stagnant. I mean, versus USDC, it's probably performing as good as like
Kind of
a
stagnant.
legacy asset. Like a S&P index. Like it's not been too fun.
The S&P outperformed the fuck out of ETH over the last like 2 months, right?
Yeah, I haven't looked, but it's been boring as hell is my point. And
Yeah,
it's interesting that that's despite the merge. Right? So how did the merge happen? In the supply chain, instead of having 80,000 extra Ethereums, we only have 1,000. Is this time frame 7 days? Oh no, I want to see like all time. Haven't been on here in a while.
But yeah, it means it's that bearish.
Like it's like super shit. It's been super shit. Like imagine.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That supply was all still there. I mean, would it be down?
And then you have all the people who can't rotate from it. Like, think about there's like almost $1 billion of ETH in Blast in the multi-sig that is literally supporting the price because they can't rotate. Not that they all would, but like
they're getting points.
There would have been some additional sell pressure.
Yeah.
They're getting points. I mean, look, this weekly chart looks good. It doesn't look great. Great would be higher volume coming in to support the higher price, but it definitely looks good. It's like a reclaim of a previous bull market range, and then it was the retest on the CZ indictment or whatever, like charges or whatever, and then it ripped. And I was very excited to see that. And now it's chilling, and I'm sure it's going to make an ass out of anyone who says it's dead because it's going to trade to 3,000. It's probably going to end up at 4 and probably going to make new highs this cycle. But on a dominance front, I feel pretty confident that it's going to just lose dominance to its own L2s by design. It's like kind of designed that way, is it not?
Have you been paying attention to the restaking narrative?
Very little, just like RTSK. Like I've been hearing a bit about it this week.
Do you know how restaking works?
Vaguely. I have a big bag of one that's dead. I have a big bag of one with a really annoying DAO that's just holding it back, and there's no liquidity, and it's too bad because the tech is awesome.
I watched a developer conference where like there were 5 devs on stage. One of them was from Eigenlayer. The rest of them were from like ETH Eco. And there was only one person there who didn't think it was going to be a massive security flaw and like end up being like some kind of Ponzi-nomics that like causes massive issues. And it was the guy from Eigenlayer, obviously. The rest of them were like, you know, they were kind of like signaling like, isn't this Luna-esque? Like, isn't this like money for nothing, like bad idea?
Like the idea of like staking and then taking you're
rehypothecating the security of your chain across
leveraging like, your security or your ETH.
Like
that does sound stupid. Now that you put it
because like if you buy that it will work, then it's revolutionary, right? You can use one asset to secure infinite protocols and chains. If you don't buy it, it's a huge like Ponzi risk, like and like, so yeah, people are starting to say like, this is the systemic risk that like when the next bear market starts, will all unwind terribly. I don't know if I buy that. But it's an interesting take on things. Anyways,
I
cool.
I could see an unwinding. No, sorry. I'm just eating a power bar like a jackass on screen, but I'm really, really hungry, guys. New year, new you. I got to stay healthy. No more skipping meals. But yeah, I could see an unwind of something like that aging very poorly.
Bad.
But we'll see. I didn't realize restaking was like essentially levering a stake, although it sounds like that.
Yeah, you're using your liquid. As far as I understand it, it's either that you're taking your liquid stake tokens and using those as security assets for another chain, or it is equivalent to that.
Yeah, I'm going to kind of look into that right now. I'm not going to look into it myself. I'm going to ask one of our analysts.
But that's just to say that like if it works, or for the period of time it does appear to work, even if it ends up being bad, that really changes the dynamics of ETH as an asset, because then it becomes like unlocking Wonderland style yields in the bull.
For sure.
We don't complain about the Wonderland style yields.
No, not until it's time
to.
Yeah, we just like, look, when the M comes in the market, run. That's how you avoid catastrophe most of the time. Just wait for the big fat M and then just accept that you didn't sell the top. You're 30% off your portfolio highs. It stings to quit now, but do it, because everyone's
I think
6 months.
We've yet to give Chewbacca the chance to shill his RWA bags. So
I would like to do that. Yeah.
You want to talk about your real world assets?
Hit us up. Give me tickers as you talk, and I'm going to do it for you.
Yep. So tokenized used car. Tokenized gently used 2001 Honda Civic.
Finally, we can bring gently used 2001 Honda Civics on chain and unlock the capital efficiency.
The chart looks great.
You apologized to me for not getting me in on this, and I said, it's okay, because I looked at it and the liquidity was so low that I passed mentally. But now I feel like I'm upset that you didn't get me in on this.
Yeah, so Chewbacca, I found this like randomly when it was all shitcoin meme season. I was like scanning tickers.
Yeah, I was.
And then I posted it in the pit, and then I was like, this is actually like a brilliant meme, because it's not derivative, like it's like an actual funny joke as opposed to like a dog with a hat. And as soon as Chewbacca saw it, like I knew it was right up his alley when I saw it, but as soon as he saw it, he was like, get me some. He was at a Christmas party and he like sent me Sol.
I was at my girlfriend's family's place for Christmas in
sending
Texas.
me Sol from Coinbase to go ape it for him.
Yeah,
and
I was like, I have the only access that I have is and I was late, but I knew it could have been a top, but I just didn't care because the meme was just so strong.
So that first top RT that you put the top of your fib on, that's him. Like that's literally him.
There's Chewbacca buying that wick. Well, it was a sick
I didn't care.
Yeah, I saw this whole
week.
He
knew that the rest was coming.
Yeah, and
I just kept buying.
From here, it looks obvious, but gotta remember. I hope you guys can't hear that. Can you guys hear the babies?
No.
I share a wall with them, and they're both crying right now. Anyways, they're being taken.
Yeah, it looked like shit at the bottom. It looked like it was going to keep making lower lows, and a lot of these meme charts, they do that. I noticed they just like look like absolute shit. They'll make the lower low, and then they'll just like scam up, and then you won't have.
Well, they're less liquid, right? So the chart patterns are less reliable. I mean, a trend is a trend is a trend. So when it's showing you a reversal or an up, it's pretty good, but just be expecting like, when something that's like $60 million in volume a day puts in a confirmation on a higher time frame, it's a lot more of a signal than 4 hours on a 180K liquidity pool. Like that's what I'm getting at. The point is, you don't have to feel bad, because you guys were talking about it all day right through here, and I looked at it. It was $170,000 liquidity. And I just felt like I didn't want to be a part of that, which is stupid. I mean, I got to get my head around just putting $1,000 into something, putting $2,000 into something. It doesn't have to be like your new baby that you have to babysit all day, right? Just throw a little punt in.
Yeah.
Because here's a funny thing. I bought a very gently used Honda Civic with the first 2017 gains I made in crypto. I was driving a Cobalt from 2006. For all those years,
ape used car.
I know, and so my first crypto car, my big splurge, was like a 12K.
This is a piece of you.
Yeah. It is a piece of me, dude. So in that sense, I am feeling very left out right now.
And you sold it to a Giga Chad who ended up fractionalizing it and putting it on the blockchain. Someone in the chat said it looks like Harry Potter, and it's funny. Chewbacca said like. Just off the memes quality alone, that it felt like ticker Bitcoin. Like it has that quality to it of like why it's funny, and I totally agree with that.
Yeah, it's that's the reason why I really liked it. That was like my bullish thesis on it, is because if this like mid IQ Harry Potter Obama like people's Bitcoin thing that targets like a very small sector of crypto, if that can, blow up and make people laugh and go to, 100, 200 million, this same kind of idea, like the people's car, like the people's fractionalized car, that's just so much more accessible and so much easier to meme. Like anyone
But
can
like,
just go on to Midjourney and
it's also funny. It's like it takes the context of people creating all these shitcoin contracts to get the joke, kind of. Like, you have to understand that, like, first, to understand why it's so funny, you have to understand that, like, people are looking for different types of animals and things to put on the animals. Like, and they're just coming up with like dog with hat, like cat with pants, like a dragon, like, and someone was like, what about a gently used 2001 Honda Civic? Right? Like,
hear me
it's
out.
like disruptive.
Hear me out, guys.
Yeah.
It is pretty
And
amazing. I do like
no
the
one's
gently
done
used
that.
part. Yeah.
Yeah.
It did stand out in retrospect. Speaking of retrospect, you guys know I like to do retrospect trading on this show. Let's see how the chaos PRZ worked out. Yeah, I mean, like this thing again, speculation. I feel like things that don't have much fundamentals, and I'm not shitting on your guys' coins, but like, when there's not like some PE ratio or some earnings or fees, it's just a meme coin. Like, what's left to trade on except for levels, right? I feel like TA works really well on these things.
I mean, by that definition,
I
until
agree.
2020, all coins were meme coins.
Yeah, and TA worked really well.
Yeah,
is my point.
Yeah, I would
So
agree.
like,
the chaos levels are great on meme coins when they're like going parabolic. They're amazing.
And it looks like they kind of worked here. I mean, I don't know what happened up here. This Space Needle, somebody got cucked, but
someone aped $199,000 into
seriously
in one transaction.
They learned a lesson about liquidity. And
I have a theory that it's just a hella based like team member. It's the marketing, because they create this.
That's the marketing budget.
Wick.
That wick
Bonk,
right there.
Bonk did it too. They did it a couple times. I mean, I can't prove this that there was the Bonk team, but you just would see these insane wicks, and then you get this whole community like / fill the wick, fill the wick, fill the wick. And it just creates even more buzz, and I think it's brilliant, actually.
Well, that's pretty sweet, especially when the cost is where it was. I mean, to make a wick that high for under 200K, 300%, like something that's already mooning, that's relatively low cost. If you're a team holding a significant amount of supply and then it trades back up there on size with some liquidity, it's well marketing spent. Green candles are the best marketing. So did you buy this reload zone? That's all I wanted to ask.
I didn't. I just held.
You just got a bag. Okay. Because it did come in pretty sweet.
So big.
Yeah, that is extra clean. Do you think it could go up from here, RT? Tell us what to do.
I mean, I'll tell you this. I like to buy stuff when it's in these zones, and I like to sell stuff when it's in those zones. It's not in either of those right now.
Yeah, since it's closer to the other one, buy.
No, this is old. Yeah, this is old now. Like, this is kind of like, hey, these were the chaos for this move. You'd probably want to, like, maybe the chaos for the next move is this whole consolidation. If this chills here for a bit and then really goes, and then you're eating that wick, you're getting some pie in the sky stuff again. So if I'm loading up through this consolidation, I would do it not after 7 days of green or 7 4-hour candles of green. I'd probably wait for it to just continue this. So like, if it's going to do this, maybe there's a pickup for me right there. Right.
Speaking of meme coin marketing,
then this shit's in play if you want to play that crazy shit. But
you think it'll hit the reload zone again?
Yeah. I mean, typically, especially when you get big blow off tops, again, it's so much more comfortable for you to talk in terms of like, not here's what's going to happen, but here's what I'm going to do if this happens.
Right.
So it's not like, do I think it'll come back here? It's like, no, but that's where I would buy it.
Okay. Yeah.
If I was going to buy it, caveat, I probably won't buy this one. I should buy a little just to say I did.
I think like another bullish case for where this is right now, when memes put in a top, and it is the top, they don't typically look like this after. They look
right. They
like
don't stop there.
Yeah. They don't stop there. And so
I certainly think there's more juice
than
I gave them credit for, and that's fair. I don't know about whiff though. What is whiff doing these days? 20% today on a.
We've all in the pit begun to agree that whiff is actually like Reddit normie, like boomer joke, like not funny at all.
All right,
it's cute.
We're not high on the whiff. I really liked when Cock and whiff were mooning at the same time.
Whiff.
We can talk about Cock.
That was great.
That was a nice combo.
Cock with hat.
Pull up bonk real quick.
Yeah, just want to point out that. Yeah.
That was a good level to buy.
Yeah, I'd like to point out as a retrospect trader,
most recent.
No, but like anyone who got in through this, like there's still just like 140x's baked into this thing since the last real buying interest came up. Ever since then, if you notice, it's been no significant buying and some significant selling started. So I stand by my former statement. This thing is fucking cooked, I say. What do you got?
Pull up bonk real quick. So super cool Chad, really awesome guy who I respect very much, ledger status. Decided to right here at the bottom of bonk dunk on the guy who he like gave advice to about his $10 million UPNL and just he dunked on him. And it's like, dude, first of all, like this kid is probably like 1/3 your age. He has like 12 less kids than you. Like definitely don't dunk on him for not taking your advice. But that also made me think like this is probably the bottom. Like that's narrative perfection. If like you told this guy when it was at the top to sell his UPNL and then you decided to like grave stomp him down here, like that's gotta be bottom.
Yeah. How's 10 million bonker doing?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Really cool stuff, guy.
That is a little bit. That is a little bit.
Yeah. Hey, man, you leader, figurehead in the space.
It's surprising actually, because he is kind of like Mr. Sweetheart. You know, he takes the sweetheart role and everything. Kind of like I'm just like.
If you don't take his advice, though, apparently,
it's
very rude. But yeah, I just thought that was like incredibly tasteful and really cool. And it also made me think that maybe this is probably capping downside on bonk. I really do think bonk to 10 bill, 40 bill even. I really do think that's possible. A lot of people saying bonk is like over, it's never coming back. But then you have like literal VCs like loading up on it in their hedge funds, dude. Like
where?
I don't know. Where? Joe McCann, dude.
Yeah. I mean, he's buying in the reload zone.
No, he bought way before.
Like earlier.
15 mil worth of bonk like earlier, like before Moon.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about right now.
I think he's still holding it. I think he was on a podcast like 2 days ago talking about how they're still very bullish on bonk.
Yeah, he's a big salonable. I'm not surprised. And I think bonk, of course, in retrospect, was an outstanding idea. I feel dumb. We talked about this on stream. I think I told my friends in like October, I was like, yo, there's like a Doge 1 rocket in January. Like, just buy some Doge. Doge is up 12%. Bonk is up like 150x. No, but look, this is a blow off top. It was a mania. It was an insane run. Good for bonk. It's going to be around. It's probably going to make new highs someday, but it's not going anywhere for a while. That's my take.
I think that
my take, it might even do something like that, but like it's gonna take a long time.
It's you saying this that makes me think the weekly just looks like a lightning bolt drawing.
Oh yeah, where it's like this, and then it's just gonna like chill all the way up here forever.
No, a lightning
not
bolt.
Forever, but like, you know, like this is it.
Like, okay, from here, new high, 70% correction, new high, 70% correction. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, that kind of thing. Yes.
All right, you heard it here first.
Oh wow,
that's what I think, dude.
I mean, I would love it. I would love what that would mean.
Yeah, no, I think that would be great. I would like to point out to you, to be sure, that I sold my bonk yesterday. It's a true story. I had a small bag that I found when I was doing my taxes the day before, and I was like cleaning out like my, sub 1% holdings bags just to consolidate and get clean again. And part of that was bonk. So you're probably right. But I will point this out from a physics perspective. When you get a super hardcore blow off move, you often get a long cleanup job. And so one example I always come back to is HBAR. They partnered with Google on the very start of the year, way back in 2020. I remember because I bought this W and it felt really cool. But then after this, I was like, we can ignore this one for a while. And it took about a year. It spent the rest of that year just being kind of boring. I mean, it had 100% run, I think, during this, where it shot up. Yeah, actually, exactly 100%. But yeah, it's they usually have to clean up for a while because there's just so many bag holders. So every time it tries to go higher, they're like, oh, finally I can get out. And then there's guys that want to buy it. And it's like, oh, finally I can get out. Finally I can get out. Oh God, I just want to get out. And then eventually that crowd is gone. And then it fucking moons.
Yeah.
So there's a big crowd of probably wants to get out.
Let me see it on the weekly, dude.
Yeah,
Let me see.
No, and look, this is just me helping people understand market dynamics. I'm not trying to make a prediction on your bonk bros.
No. I'm not.
I'm not like I certainly better be on board this thing when it rips again. Yeah, the weekly looks.
I'm not at all adversarial, and it could consolidate for like way longer than I think, and then do that. I'm just saying, I really think it's going to do that because
do what? Like just go way higher.
It's the third meme ever listed on Coinbase, and the other two did exactly the same thing as each other. What is the third one going to do?
Doge and SHIB.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I like, you know what? I like your thing. And now that we're talking about this, having this conversation, and in that conversation, I pointed out that I sold the little bit that I had. I feel like I should just buy some here.
That's a great idea. Coach said throw up a fractal. I think
I feel like
I'm probably wrong because
ledger dunking.
Oh, the ledger dunk is also information we need to have. The 10 mil guy.
Very crucial.
But the point is that isn't the 10 mil guy, like, I'd be curious, like, how is he doing? Did he close?
Dude, he's up millions of dollars on a 15K punt. I think he's fine. I don't think.
No, but I'm asking how he's doing. Is it open? Did he puke it yet? Did he
I don't know.
The $5 million drawdown was too much to stomach? Like, I want to know how he's doing. Because that was my concern. And to his credit, he did say in the big long thread he made about why he's not closing it, which I thought was super weird. But he was just saying, like, I've been in these trades before, and basically saying I have a lot of money, so 10 mil is not the life change my life the way you guys.
I thought he was just some kid.
No, he wrote about it like, I've been in these trades before. I've been through this before.
He might be a kid, but yeah, he was implying that he has experience with this exact type of trade before.
Oh, okay.
He may not.
That he has closed some too soon, that he has left them too long. He's like, I've ridden these to zero. I've round tripped and I've fucking cashed in. He's like, don't worry about me. Yeah. Anyways, my concern was, because I kind of agree with him, like, bonk's going to go higher. It seems like weird in its life cycle to just be like the forever top, but it's these reload zones, bro. It's really hard for me. Anyways, I was just from experience. I'm like, how are you going to stomach this, especially when it takes the time it takes and has the funding it has?
You already did that, though.
Well, that's why I want to know how he's doing.
Not if it lasts another 6 months.
To Ledger's credit, I also want to know how the 10 million bonker's doing. Like, was it a genuine question?
I'm sure he was being very genuine about it.
No, like because I thought when I was reading it, I was like, well, A, the top is in because the phones and everything was flying up. So I was like, this probably local highs. And then B, I'm like, this guy's going to be paying funding for like 6 months if he wants to get to new highs. And that's cool because it'll pay off eventually. But you know me, I would have been like, so take the 10 mil, buy 10 more coins for $1 mil each. 100x them.
It's the phone selling out that creates the top moment. It is the people dunking on the people who bought the phones that creates 10 billion.
Yeah, 100%. Well, I bought one and I haven't even set it up yet. So dunk on me, baby, so we can moon. I have a lot of phones.
On top of that, we also had less fees and gas, LFG token on Solana. I want your guys' theories on this because I think it flew pretty much under the radar. But basically, if you have an Ethereum address that's spent a lot of gas, you go to their website and they'll just give you tons of this token. And like, that's not the remarkable part. The remarkable part is that when I claimed my tokens on that first drawdown, it had $19 million of liquidity.
Yeah.
It now has 1 million.
No, I think it has 2.
Wrong.
But, like, literally
it says right
today-
here 1.28 mil.
That's TVL.
That's TVL is
It's been
liquidity.
fluctuating all
I think,
day.
yeah,
Earlier
Bird Eye
today it
TVL
was
is
at
liquidity. Yeah.
earlier
Bird
today
Eye.
it was at 2 mil, and the 19 mil popped back up, and then it was gone.
Somebody's playing those games. Let's go see. I love this shit. You can see remove. So we'll click whales.
Yeah.
Any major removals? Nothing. Nope. You're lying.
No, I'm for real.
And ladies and gentlemen,
Bird Eye
survey says
bu-
that
bugging
is
out.
a lie. Yeah, Bird Eye. Well, it doesn't have like pages. You can't search back pages, which is unfortunate. Wonder if we could. No, whales only 3K or over. Let's give us the big.
Yeah, go to find trades at the
Technicals,
bottom of that.
volume, trades, views,
No, go
TVL.
back
So
to where you-
TVL peaked at 3 million. I think your display's tripping, or I'm looking in the wrong place. Is it maybe over here showing something a little different? Nah,
Here, I
there's
will
really
find
only
it.
the one pool. Either way,
Whales.
that's pretty cool. I don't, just because I don't see it or we can't find it doesn't mean you're
the question
on
is
meth.
like even 3 mil, right? Why? How?
Yeah. Well, that's what I thought when you were telling me how to claim it and look at it, and then it's like connect your wallet and click all this stuff, and it was like $600 worth. I was like, call me when it's like worth risking my entire wallet. Like, I don't know. I don't want to sign anything on like a free giveaway token almost ever unless it's like
I didn't claim for the exact
same.
same reason.
Yeah, like Pith. Pith. I'm like, they're probably not gonna fish me and rug pull me, but
Totally retweeted it. That's why I did it.
That's fair. Yeah. Which would be a sick swindle on their part if they got him to do that and then they did that thing. But I just looked at the permissions and then the value I was going to get from it and the amount of my wallet, and I was like, ugh. Like, I don't even keep much on Solana, but I should have like a holdings wallet and then like a fuck around and find out wallet. I do not have that yet.
Yeah, it's just very odd that
there's a lot of liquidity.
It's very odd that it had so much liquidity and was such a high market cap. Like, it made me think that this was marketing on behalf of like some huge Solana whale who wants to convert ETH heads over.
It's a cool idea. We kind of talked about this, right? We were going to call the token Max Gwei.
Oh yeah.
Something to do with
dude. There's people farming ideas from the pit. Because we had JC Denton had the idea to make a coin called a gently used, or no, he said like a very used 1962 your mom.
Oh yeah.
And ticker your mom, within 10 minutes there was a your mom token on Solana.
That rugged, I think. I'm pretty sure.
I'm sure it rugged. Yeah. So I hope we don't find out who that was in the pit, because they will be ban hammered, dude.
It was the box, dude. Ban the box.
Imagine stealing
it was probably the box.
Host's ideas and then using them to rug unassuming people who thought your mom was the future of finance.
Yep.
SMH.
Anyway,
I don't know. I think LFG, it's worth paying attention to.
It does. It does
liquidity.
Look at this trough. Like, I mean, it looks
people are gonna write it off, and then I think just the liquidity point that Toast made is enough to continue to pay attention to it.
Look at this, man. I mean, this is like,
why does this have a 25 mil market cap? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, I think someone's planning something.
Right. Yeah.
And it's an airdrop token, so there will be a lot of people who just say, "Hey, cool, take it and run," and that's where you're going to kind of get this floor forming, which is what we have. I really like this, guys. I might even go trade it, because liquidity is often my issue with these little shitters, is where I'm like, it's a couple $100K. I feel like I won't be able to get out even if I did make 100x. Like, it's just, I've been in too many of them where it's like, oh, liquidity issues. So yeah, you guys you're kind of selling me on this idea.
Yeah. Well, I didn't really think about it until Toast just.
And it's LFG. I mean, what a sick token ticker to just be like, oh, Solana's pumping LFG. Like, it's like, yeah, it's got some memeage to it. And like you said, who's behind it? And what does their wallet look like? And what does their ability to put the bump on the coin look like?
What's the motive?
Yeah. I'm going to shortlist this one. I mean, like, and this is where I need to practice my execution on like sketchier meme coins and say, okay, just a tiny bit, just the tip, you know, don't have to make it a big decision, but I also don't have to completely sideline myself because it doesn't fit some broad 20-year thesis of mine. I can have fun too, guys. I'm a cool guy.
I mean, you can pretty much leave all 20-year theses out of, like, when have we ever do you have any coins that you bought multiple cycles ago that you still hold?
Yeah, Aeon.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding. I don't. Bitcoin, Ethereum, but I've bought and sold those 100 times through those cycles. So I don't know. No. DSO. I mean, DSO, other than for a 3-day period, I've held for 4 years because I was so tired of it being in that trough that I decided to sell it right here. That might have actually been me. And then, you know, in classic market styles, it like pumped 2 days later, and my buddy's like, dude, DSO's up 20%. I was like, fuck my life. And then like a week later, Rob came on stream, and I now own like 3 times what I had before. So it's like, other than those 3 days of not holding it, this is my last cycle coin I never let go of. Really like it. It's funny how we all go full circle back to DSO. You know what was going to happen. But I actually wanted to talk about this is sick, by the way. Let me just point this out. Pump Chaser Zone tag. Like, pipped it. Now, there probably wasn't much volume traded there, but that's what we call le pip. Probably could have picked up about $400 worth there, but it still looks cool. That's actually, I always front run these now. I always go like a good amount above because they miss a lot and then they pip a lot and you don't get filled a lot. So pro tip, Bitcoin, what do you think about this ETF? I feel like we should still talk about it. It's been 3 days into the year. Everyone's like, look at this ETF. It's meme coin season, but what do you got? I drew this range in your honor. I thought about you this morning. I was like, man, this is so, and look at this Monday range too. You're going to love this.
Yeah, I would have made a lot of money if I was still in scalp mode.
Look at this Monday range mode. There's like nuke through, recover, trade up to the halfway point of the Monday range, flip it straight to the highs, deviation. Like, this is all your shit, man. This is your sauce.
Yeah, it did just close below Monday high, innit?
Mm-hmm. I honestly thought about telling you about this today because I was like, yo, it's so clean, Monday range. But I knew you'd just be like, this guy said Monday range. Ha, ha, ha. And you'd Pepe laugh in my face. And then
I'm a Monday range respector, dude. Look at Sol's chewing through Monday range right now. I've been waiting for the reclaim.
Yeah, so that was one I was actually about to trade because as I had this Monday range thing.
Perfect retest of the Monday low. Too.
Yes. Yes. This morning I looked at it. It was after this retest though. It was like just a bit above. And I was like, damn, like of all the Monday ranges I just looked at, because I forgot to take the indicator off my screen and I was looking through charts and I was like, shit, this one's so clean. And also the high is so clean. I mean, it's just this perfect sweep here. So
yeah,
Sol's probably going to trade up to 110 in the near future.
RIP the guy who said Sol would spend a long while, quote unquote, under $100.
Oh my God. I love that guy.
Dunk, yeah, Dunk marks the low. Count it.
Yeah.
This price action does look eerily similar to summer. Remember summer?
Yeah, I was gonna say we're getting those vibes of those like flat consolidations at like 30 and like 25 and
yeah, right here, like where we were just kind of in this forever range and then we broke out and came in. Now this obviously aged very poorly. I don't imagine with any kind of, but like, ETF rejection or like sharp approval rejection and like, you know, I mean, it's a different time of year. It's a totally different situation, but it is reminding me of like these highs.
I can't wait for the ETF thing to be over because I'm so
know.
sick of people talking about what's going to happen when the ETF, like,
It's always, you know, it's the longest week of our life coming up. The longest week of the year would be this week. Biggest anticipation event, but it's always something, right? What was it? It was fork season. Remember how sick we were of the Bitcoin forks, the fork FUD? There was another one in the years between, I forget, but yeah, it's always something. And then you're just like, could we just move on from this, parallel universe or whatever people call it? Anyways, yeah. So the ETF, it's going to be great. It's going to be great. People are going to go to work. The part of their 401k contributions are just going to blindly go into Bitcoin year after year after year.
What if we just trade between? Think about everyone who's got hard opinions about what happens after the ETF, and then we trade between 40 and 44k for months.
Yeah.
I would love that.
That would make everyone really
and here's the thing. While that happens, more certain or more sure of where I think Bitcoin's headed, I do think on the most, like for the most part, I don't even care. I don't even care to make this prediction, but all coins look way more cooked than Bitcoin, short-term, midterm. So I will just point that out. So like, does this thing just trough, maybe chill, just destroy everyone for a while? Because there's no real catalyst for a little bit. Like, there's no reason it can't just do this for a while. I mean, we've all lived through that. It sucks. It's fun, then it sucks. Then it's fun, and it sucks. Like, I feel like we could have a choppier year than we want. I feel like we will, at least post listing, but I still want to get up here. I think it would make no sense at all for us not to trade to the 618 soon. So I'm sticking to that gun, but
yeah,
I've got some decisions to make, dude. I've got some dry powder coming in through this FTX claim, and I got like, I'm
buy used car.
I'm cautious, right? Because I'm like, the last thing I want,
buy used car.
The last thing I want is to like take that back into the portfolio and then just like ape into the top of a bunch of shit. So I gotta be.
Here's what you can do, dude. You can buy
max
6
short
lads and just wait until they're 100k and sell them then, and it'll be the most easy, the most risk-free, the most comfortable trade you'll ever be in your life.
Which one?
While Lads community continues to rain free money and mints on you for fucking 2 years, and then when it's 100k, you sell them, and you ride off into the sunset, dude.
Could put them in my Saga.
In your gently used 2001 Honda Civic.
I like that. And perfect pump chaser zone. I love that I can chart these things. I almost want to become an NFT trader. I decided I can trade NFTs, simplifying the tax thing by just creating a unique wallet for them. And then it's like net in, net out of the wallet at the start and end of the year, and not tracking all the actual
every
trades.
Wallet.
Yeah, I do that with LPs and stuff, but I need to just set that up for some stupid fun stuff, like not stupid, but like meme coins or NFTs, things I don't want to track in my normal software, and I can just spreadsheet them net in, net out. That's what I'm going to do. Yep, all in, Mad Lads.
Let's go,
gentlemen. It's 3 p.m. local time, which means I've got to run. You guys could stay in shitcoin if you like.
I know Chewbacca's got to go too.
Oh, you
got. I got to
bounce. Keep seeing him check his new Russian mob watch.
For real,
he's got a place to be.
Glowed up hard.
And to everyone who's been watching today, I am so embarrassed to say that I have not had the chat open because I came in all hot and bothered and a little bit rushed. So I'm really sorry to not have said directly hello to each and every one of you. But thank you for coming to watch the show today. Thank you for being awesome. Play from strength, all the good stuff. Subscribe to the channel if you liked it. Follow us, like us, hang out with us.
Buy Lads, buy Tensorians, buy Quicks.
And we'll see you. Yeah. And keep an eye on Focus. Focus is going to be
Ape Focus.
Fantastic.
Yep.
Have a wonderful week. And goodbye. Oh, I can't believe I didn't have the